Hey traders, Mike Sir here. Welcome to my Trade with Mike live streams video series where you follow along in terms of my trading. And let's see what opportunities present us for this coming week. And for my US American friends, happy President's Day. And for my Canadian friends, I think we are a family day here. So either way, we have a holiday in North America. All right, guys, let's get started. All right, just a normal disclaimer. So make sure that you consult your financial advisor before making any financial decisions. Anything that I discuss is for entertainment purposes only. All right. Okay, let's get straight into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all just analyze the overall US stock market, see what the markets are telling us. And then I got two stock ideas for you guys this week. The markets is closed today, but we will see if some of these opportunities in terms of these stocks will work out. So first of all, what I did something a little bit different is I've gotten some emails from you guys that you really like these Heikin Ashi charts, okay? And I did actually a video on that. So again, if you guys want to learn more about the Heikin Ashi charts, please watch my video. So I just changed here. I usually like candlesticks. Candlesticks is kind of my go-to chart that I like to look at because it kind of gives me a lot of ideas in terms of what the market's doing. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to switch it to Heikin Ashi charts. And Heikin Ashi's charts, for those who don't know, they kind of give a little bit more of a smooth out type of price direction of the price. Yeah, the price direction. So you can see here, anything in green is essentially indicating that the price is going up, and anything in red is indicating that it is going lower. So what it does, you can see here, it smooths out the price direction. So you can see, right, it smooths it out so that you can see things a little bit clearer. And if we take a look at the S&P 500, the S&P 500 has been extremely choppy for the past 2 weeks since the beginning of February. And for those who are swing traders, it's been a very, very difficult time. And hence the reason why I haven't really been giving a lot of stock swing trade ideas, mainly because there essentially has been no trend in the market. You can see it, right? It's very, very choppy up and down. And on Friday, we had a massive break towards the downside, broke 4,100. So as of right now, I'm suspecting that the US markets will pull back down to here. So head a little bit lower unless it can stay above 4,100. Okay. So I have a bit of a bias towards the downside on the overall US stock market. If we take a look at the NASDAQ, okay, the NASDAQ, which consists of mainly a lot of tech companies, it's telling us a little bit different picture. You can see massive rallies since the beginning of this year, and again, since the beginning of February. You can see it's basically been trading in a really wide range, right? Sideways, up and down, up and down. So to me, it indicates, again, there's not a lot of good swing trading opportunities. But what we did see on Friday was a massive drop. Okay. 0.68%. Actually went more than that, over 1% at one moment. So my thoughts are, what this chart is indicating to me is, if this red here is, if we see some follow through and it can go through the 1200, 150 level, we may see further downside. As of right now, it's basically just showing it's sideways. Okay, it's choppy. But if the S&P continues to follow, most likely the NASDAQ will also fall. So the two ideas that I'm going to give you guys today, again, if you guys have any symbols that you want me to review, please let me know in the question box. All right, one idea that I have is Apple. Okay, now I'm going to switch to a candlestick chart shortly, just so that's easier for me to see in terms of prices. Apple has done extremely well, and it is exhibiting a flag formation. Okay, so you can see this big pull sideways. Now I'm going to switch to a candlestick chart so it's easier for me to see. Okay, so you can see that it's basically consolidating right here. Okay, in fact, you could sort of make it a sense that it is more of a pennant. Okay, pennant and flags are quite similar in terms of their formation. Right, you can see here, lows, higher lows, higher lows. So every time that it does consolidate, it actually is higher than the previous low. So indicating to me that the price wants to go higher. Okay, so the idea that I have is essentially to buy above this line here to break towards the upside. And if it doesn't, we'll probably get stopped out around here. And but in terms of the pattern, we are suggesting that if it can break here, it's going to target this price right here, this resistance right here. Okay. Now you probably said, well, Apple is a big component of the NASDAQ, and you said, well, NASDAQ is going to head lower. Well, I'm not sure, right? At this point, you can see the NASDAQ basically is just going sideways. Okay, but my bias is towards the downside. But again, if it stays strong and moves higher, then most likely Apple will move higher as well. So the price that I have for Apple is, it's a bull flag. It's a resistance break. I'm looking to go long. I'm going to look to buy, put a pending buy stop order at $155.70. If it can't go higher, the stop loss is set at 152.80. The target would be 167.80, giving you a risk reward of 4.1721. So risking $1 to make $4.17. Now I put a little bit of a tighter stop loss here, 152.80. Okay, is essentially right here. Okay, so I'm using this as right below 153, has a resist or has a stop loss. So there is a risk of it break out here and then come back here and then stop you out. The safer is probably, I'd say, right here, below 151. So 150.70, 150.80. But if I do that, let me just do that. Let's calculate what the win loss or the risk reward is. 150.80 will give me a 2.47. So 2.47, it's not bad. It's not obviously as attractive as 4. So I'll leave it up to you guys what you guys want to do if you want to follow along. But to make the risk reward more attractive, I'm going to use 152.80. Okay, that'll give you 4-1. And also, if I were to risk 150, the risk will probably be about 2-3% versus actually about closer to 3% versus 2%. So I'm kind of leaning towards, or the way that I'm playing it is, if it breaks above here and can't go higher, then I'm just basically going to get stopped out right away. Okay, I'm not going to leave a lot of room. So it really has to basically shoot up. Okay, that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm thinking. If it does shoot up like this and then it falls and then kind of just goes in this range, you can play a little bit conservatively. Like I said, put your stop loss 150.80, which is in some sense, if I look at this clearly, 150. Yeah, 150. Yeah, you can see right here. Let me just erase this line here. you can see right here, right? So there is a high chance. There's a high chance that if it breaks above here, it probably maybe stay in this range, right? Because you can see there is a support, and you can see right here as well. That's why I said 150.80, or you can even put 150.36. Okay, but for my portfolio, I'm tracking. It's either gonna break or it's not going to. Okay, so that's my disclaimer in terms of how I'm playing. And there's no right or wrong in terms of what you decide to do. I mean, you could, in some sense, put your stop loss all the way here, right, to be safer, because if it can't break above here, like if it breaks above here and then comes back in this range, like you can see, look at it broke above here and then came back in this range, right? It broke above here, right, above this line, and came back in this range. So there's no right or wrong. It's just depending on how aggressive or passive that you want to be, or conservative that you want to be. The most conservative is if you buy here, your stop loss should be here. Okay, because it's still within this flag formation. All right, next one that I want to talk about is PDD. Okay, PDD Holdings. So PDD Holdings is if you don't know the company, they actually launched a new app, okay, or an app that is competing with Amazon called Temu, okay, and it actually had a Super Bowl commercial, and the prices that the stuff that they sell is very similar to Amazon, but they sell it super cheap. Like you can find stuff like $1, $2, or sometimes $1, right? A lot of really cheap stuff from China, and the prices are insanely cheap. So that's the market that they're trying to target, very cheap stuff. That's why the stock has done incredibly well. Okay, in some sense, the number of app downloads on this stock has exceeded Amazon and also Walmart. So they've done extremely well. What I do see in terms of this type of stock is I see a potential short in this. I see that this is what I call a mini Head and Shoulders. So you see the shoulder right here, you see the head right here, and then you see the shoulder forming. And in terms of a head and shoulders type of chart pattern, once it breaks through this line right here, it should go lower. Okay, so that's my play. So the play is to short right here once it gets below here, and to target. You can target here all the way down 60, or you can target around here or even here. Okay, so the price that I am looking to short this is Head and Shoulders support break, short at 89.80. Stop loss is 92.50. Target is 75.20, giving a risk reward of 5.41. Okay. So same thing like Apple, I am putting a pretty decent tight stop, okay, 92.50. So same thing here, it's got to break right away. So the area that I'm putting it is right above. So I'm using this as a support, right? You can see that's been holding. If it does blow through right here, I'm assuming that it doesn't break this line or go back up above here. So that's why I'm doing around 92.50. Okay, I could say that I could do 92.50 right here. You can see that's been support. If you want to be a little bit more aggressive, again, you can do whatever you want on this. But if you see a Head and Shoulders formation, and again, I'm gonna use a Heikin Ashi chart. Let me see if it actually works better. Okay, yeah. So you can see it better. So you see this shoulder right here, you can see this head above here, and you can see this shoulder here. So if you notice that this is a head and shoulder, you can take a little bit more risk and start shorting it right here. Okay. If you see it get close to here, and actually let me go back to a candlestick, because this Okay, yeah, you can see right here. So Friday signals some type of weakness, but what you can do is you can short right away, like on Tuesday, tomorrow, and just use this as a stop loss. Okay, right above here. So you can do that. I generally, just to make it simple for you guys, I don't want to split it into two orders to make it very, very complicated. But if I do see this has a head and shoulders, I would probably look to short somewhere here, okay, or even right here before it hits here, and then use this as a stop loss. Okay, so it's a little bit more conservative instead of waiting here. Okay, so sometimes what I do is I teach my students you can start off with an initial position, short as close to here as possible. Okay, if it breaks back above here, above this left shoulder, then you get out. If not, then if it doesn't hit it, then you can ride it. And then once it breaks through here, you can add to your second position. So it's a little bit of a safer way, right? Because you start off with initial position and then you add to your winning position. Versus me, I just want to keep it simple for you guys. I'm basically looking to short this once it breaks through this support line. Okay, so this one will give you a 5.41 risk to reward. Okay, so let's see. I have one long and one short position. And yeah, let's see what the markets tells us this coming week. All right, let me know what you guys have, any stock symbols that you guys want me to review, and I will take a look at it. All right, so Delikai, hi, yeah, hello. Sherry, hi, okay. So crypto, so let's take a look at some crypto. Crypto has been very, very volatile, but it has done extremely well. All right. So BTC is currently respecting this resistance level that I kind of talked about last week, or if I did talk about it. So what it is signaling is if it can break above this line right here, around 25,189, okay, above right here, or 200, it can go higher. Okay, it's exhibiting, in some sense, kind of like a pennant, right? You see this? A pennant. So if it can go above 25,200-ish, it's going to go higher, okay? And so far, because it's trading right now, very, very strong. It looks like it wants to break 25,000. If it does, it's probably going to target 28,000, okay? So from looking at this entire chart, I think, okay, the chart is telling me that this downtrend that Bitcoin has been exhibiting has some room to go higher. Okay, I'm gonna look, if we draw this, you can see right here, this massive downtrend has been broken right here. Came back to test it. Let me just erase this. And specifically talked about this in my previous live streams. It has broken this $18,000-$19,000 level, surged up to here. I would not be surprised, and again, we could see this break up. I would not be surprised to see some type of a pullback, okay, before going higher. I think I said last week that, or the previous week, I said that Bitcoin was going to get lower because right here it broke this resistance, but some news or some type of trigger pushed prices up. So again, we see another pennant formation. So right now I can see that, yeah, Bitcoin looks like it's, again, if it can break above 25,200 and stay above it, I think we are going to see 28,000 shortly. Okay, Matic. Okay, Matic is not something that I follow, but let me just draw some lines here. Actually, just for your simplicity's sakes, I'm going to use all Heikin Ashi charts so you guys can see it clearer. Okay, so Matic definitely has lots of activity. You can see, look at the rising volume. So there is definitely some interest in this particular coin. And the only thing that I'm kind of concerned about is it's in this upward channel. It's already reached the top here. So if you were to buy closer to here, okay, or at least buy closer to here. If you're holding it, you have to respect that this area has some level of resistance, okay? Because you can see right here, there is some resistance around here, around 13-ish or so. But yeah, it's recovered incredibly well. I mean, from $2 something last year in June all the way to 13. So if you bought anywhere near the lows here, you've done incredibly well. All right, option power. Hello, hi. Baja Finance. Is that the name of a company? Bajaj Finance. Okay, so it's a Indian stock. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this stock. All right, so what we can see is, if we were to, again, I'm going to use a Heikin Ashi chart so it can easier for you guys to see what the direction is. There's a lot of turmoil, especially in the Indian market because of the Adani group. That's really caused some big ripples in the whole market. So this stock has done okay, but it's facing some type of resistance right here. It's still on a downward trend. Okay, still on the downward trend. And it's facing some resistance right here. So in order for it to go higher, it's got to really stay above or break 6,532 for it to go higher. And it's got to stay above that. Okay, but right now, I mean, it's done quite well since the beginning of February, hitting into resistance. Again, has to break above 6,532 for it to go higher. All right, Alibaba. Okay, Alibaba is not looking that great. So we see, okay, I'm gonna, if you guys don't mind, let's switch to candlestick charts. It's a little bit easier for me to see. Okay. So the stock has done quite well from the bottom, from 60 of last year to 120. So it's doubled since then. And it's not an easy stock to analyze, mainly because it's duly listed in Hong Kong as well as on New York. So right now, if you were to just kind of draw some trend lines, it has pulled back down to some level of support. I prefer it coming down about here. 95 would be more ideal. But it's basically right at support right now. But overall trend, and again, I'll just use the Heikin Ashi charts to show you. You can see it is red, right? So just be careful in terms of buying, especially when the clear trend is down. Or if you're looking to short. If you're looking to short, you can consider this, but obviously It has fallen 20% already just in the past few weeks. So probably it's very, very overbought, or sorry, oversold. So I'd be a little careful, wait for it to go a little higher before you short. MTC stock. Okay, MTC stock is a penny stock. Penny stocks, I will tell you, it's very hard to analyze. And you can see, look at all these spikes. Okay, these spikes are very hard to analyze. And if I were to switch it to candle, yeah, I mean, it's very hard to analyze all these spikes. So all I can say is, if you were to look at the Heikin Ashi charts, what direction it is in, it's been going up, going down, up. So again, it's kind of choppy right now. It's hard to analyze all these spikes. Okay, please take a look at SPY and AMD. SPY already did just the S&P. So I'll take a look at AMD. All right, AMD. Okay, so AMD is a stock that I think actually is at a key inflection point. I actually took a short right here when it broke right at 80.50. So I'm holding on this short. We'll see if this support holds. But if I were to look at the overall chart, and again, depending on your bias, it's broken down this downtrend. Okay, that is clear. And it has lows, higher lows here. If you extend it out. If you look at in that standpoint, and again, it broke right here, this is going to be a key important level, 77. If it breaks, I think we head much lower. Funny video says, hi Mike, is it possible to do boom and crash 1000? Just curious. Not sure what you mean by boom and crash 1000. I assume you're talking about the market falling sharply. Yeah, of course. Of course. The biggest fear is inflation, as well as the Fed being very hawkish in terms of raising rates. And that's one of the reasons why the market has recovered quite sharply since the beginning of the year, is the anticipation that the Fed is going to be more dovish and not raise interest rates as aggressively. However, I don't think we're still in, we're not out of the woods yet. I still think that is a big concern that the market is facing. So yeah, there could be a chance that the market could go much, much lower and crash. The charts don't tell me that just yet, okay? Because again, I'm not going to base I can have a bias in terms of the direction, but what the charts are telling me right now is no crash just yet. Okay, Ahmad, would you check Newmont and Amgen? Okay, Newmont, again, I used to be a huge gold bug. Okay, gold has been hurt quite significantly just in the past I guess you could say past few weeks. So Newmont has also done terribly, and again, you can see, look at the red, right? So I mean, it's clearly heading lower. Okay, if I were to go back to a candlestick chart so I can see where the levels are clear, you might find some support at 44. Okay. Now, what these candles are telling me, trying to reverse, right? This is a hammer here, trying to reverse. So it's going to depend on the gold price. So actually, why don't we take a look at the gold price? Let's see how gold is doing. Okay, gold. So gold, actually, let me clear all these lines to make it easier for you guys to see. Okay, gold clearly broke this downtrend at the end of last year. Okay, so we're now on uptrend. Okay, we were on a massive uptrend until it broke recently, just February 10th. Okay, right here. It is holding this level right here, 1825. But you can see clearly it's taking a huge drop. So it's got to hold above 1820. If it can't hold above 1820, you'll probably see much lower prices, maybe here or maybe even down here. But the area that I'm looking at is the US dollar. Okay, the US dollar has been falling, and usually gold moves inversely versus the US dollar, and it hasn't really. I mean, US dollar has been going back up a little bit, okay, and hence the gold weakness. But I got to see that gold is still going up while the US dollar is going up. That will signal to me gold's going to go higher, and hence possibly Newmont going higher. Okay, Amgen, I'm just going to go through this quickly because we're kind of out of time here. Amgen, okay, I'm just going to use the Heikin Ashi chart so it's easier for you guys to see. Clearly, it's red, okay? It's going lower, probably somewhere here. There might be some support around 225, 230. Okay, Elias says, is penny stocks bad for trading? No, of course not. You can trade anything. I'm just saying penny stocks are very, very hard. It's harder to analyze based on the charts, mainly because penny stocks generally are much easier to manipulate in terms of pushing the price up and then sellers pushing the price down. So that's why the technicals don't work as well. But you can still trade penny stocks. It's just a matter of finding out, what are the buyers doing? Are they pushing it up, or are they selling or pushing it down? So that's why I'm saying the chart's harder to analyze based on the technicals. All right, last one, trades of Vinayak. Okay, my apologies if I pronounced that wrong. Nifty Bank. Okay, Nifty Bank. Let's take a look at that. Nifty Bank. Okay, it's Bank Nifty. Okay. All right, wow, this is done quite well. It's, if I were to draw this right here, so it kind of broke this uptrend here. The concern that I have is this a start of a downtrend, or is this the start of just a consolidation area? So it broke this uptrend here, right? You can see very clearly. And then now it's making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. So every time that goes up, it can't go above here. So do we see this area has just a consolidation for it to go higher, or is this a start of a downtrend? We don't know just yet. But if you were to kind of ask me, well, is this a good opportunity to buy? Short term right here, it's on a downtrend. If you are looking to short this, you want to short as close to this as possible. And if it goes above here, then you get out. But what this is signaling to me is potentially short-term wise, at least you would say in the past few months, okay, since the December, it's on a start of a downtrend, okay, just because making lower highs and lower lows. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this holiday where the markets in North America are closed. All right, so just last thing here. If you guys are interested in working with me, so just go to activetradersacademy.com and apply to work with me. All right, guys, thank you so much, and I will see you guys next Monday.